Alhamdulillah, tamakne patan jamane. Hello. Good afternoon. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good morning, Bante.
Okay. Now let us start our lesson. This is the last two stanzas of first chapter. So you repeat after me first. Bahum piche. Okay. Bahum piche.
Bahum piche
Sahitang
sahitang
Bhasamano
asamano
Nettakaro
nattakarao
Hoti Naropamatto
oti naropamato
Gopo Gavo
gopo vagavo
Ganayang Paresang
ganayam paresam
Na Bhagava
na bhagava
Samanyasa Hoti.
samannassa hoti
Bahum piche Sahitang Bhasamano
bahum piche sahitam vasamano
Natakkaro Hoti Naropamatto
natakaro hoti naropamato
Gopo Gavo Ganayang Paresang
Gopo vagavo ganayam paresam
Na Bhagava Samanyasa Hoti.
na bhagava samannassa hoti.
Okay, you can see the meaning even though reciting abundant scriptures, the heedless fellow who does not do what they say, like a cowboy counting other cattle, does not partake of the ascetic's life. That is the meaning. Now let us go through words, meaning of each word. Bahum is abundant, many. Bahum. Piche, even though. Sahitang, scriptures, literature. In single is equal Sahitya. Sahitam. Sanskrit, Pali, Sahitang, scripture, so Sahitya. Bhasamano, reciting. Na, no. Takkaro, do accordingly. Hoti is. Naro, person. Pamato, heedless. Gopo, cowboy. Va, like. Gavo, cattle. Ganayang, counting. Paresang, others. Na bhagava, not partake. Samanyasa, of ascetic life. Hoti, thus. Now you can see the meaning, very simple. Somebody may recite a lot of the, scriptures, books, but he is heedless and he does not practice what he recites. He is like a cowboy counting others' cattle, does not partake of the ascetic life. Now, cattle owner enjoy milk, curd, yogurt, butter, cheese, and all this that they get from the cow, they enjoy. Cattle, one who look after cattle, cowboy, not this American type of cowboy. A person who just take care of cattle. They simply count others' cattle. They simply bring certain number of cattle into the field and look after them, and in the evening they return to the owner. So this fellow is a work for pay. He is hired by the owner. So he doesn't enjoy milk, yogurt, curd, butter, cheese, and so forth that come from the cattle. He simply goes away. Similarly, one who recites the scriptures does not practice. He simply recite. He may write books, he may read, he may chant, he may do everything but practice. That person does not partake of the ascetic life. In order to taste milk, ghee, butter, yogurt, cheese, he has to own and own the cattle. Now, next stanza, after this I tell you the story. Next stanza, you can recite after me. By the way, when we finish this, you may go to YouTube. These are all in YouTube. You can download or you can read online to learn Pali. That is why I give general English translation and word by word translation. What is called verbatim translation here. Okay, this one is just the opposite of the other. Appam piche
Appam piche
sahitang bhasamano
sahitam bhasamano
dhammassa hoti
dhammassa hoti
anudhammachari
anudammachari
ragancha dosancha
ragancha dosancha
pahaya mohang
Haya mohang
anupadiyano
anupadiyano
I'm sorry, ragancha pahaya mohang sammapajano
sammapajano
suvimutta citto
tuvimutta citto
anupadiyano
anupadiyano
idhava hurangva
idava uramva
sa bhagava
sabhagava
samanyassa hoti
samannassa hoti
appam piche sahitang bhasamano
appam piche sahitam bhasamano
dhammassa hoti anudhammachari
dhammassa hoti anudammachari
ragancha dosancha pahaya mohang
ragancha dosancha pahaya mohang
dhammapajano suvimutta citto
sammapajano suvimutta citto
Anupadiyano idhava urangva
Anupadiyano idava huramva
sabhagava samanyasa hoti.
sabhagava samannassa hoti.
Okay. Even though reciting but few scriptures, but living righteously in accordance with the Dhamma, abandoning greed, hate and delusion, understanding right with mind well released, that one unattached here and hereafter surely partakes of the ascetic life. That is the meaning. So the person who recite only very few, he does not know too much scriptures, but he lives in accordance with what he knows. And then he abandons greed, hate and delusion. And he will have right understanding with mind well established, well released. That one unattached here and hereafter surely partakes of the ascetic life. Okay, let us see word by word meaning. Appang. Appang is few. The opposite of appang is bahung. We read earlier bahung. Che, even though, that we learned earlier. Sahitang, scriptures, we learned that is here. Bhasamano, reciting. Dhammas, of the Dhamma. Hoti is. We learned this earlier. Anudhammachari, righteously in accordance with. Anudhamma, according to Dhamma. Ragang, greed, cha, and dosang, hate, cha here is and, pahaya, abandoning, and mohang, delusion, sammapajano, understanding right, suvimutta citto, mind well released, anupadhyano, unattached, either here, va, or, hurang, hereafter, sa, that person or that one, bhagava, partakes, samanyasa, of ascetic life, hoti, does. I put this separately, the meaning of each word separately, to make it easy for you to learn these words. When you see these words and refer to this stanza and see the general meaning. This is very, very important. These two are very important stanzas. And that is the end of that chapter. In that chapter there are 20 stanzas. This you can see the number 20 here. Now, there is a story behind this. There were two persons, both were very friendly. When they were somewhat older, they went to the Buddha and expressed their willingness of becoming monks. So Buddha ordained them. Buddha asked another. Buddha did not ordain himself, but he asked another elderly monk to ordain these two people, two persons. After ordination, they went to the Buddha and asked, Venerable Sir, how many ways of living are there in this dispensation, this Buddha's teaching. Buddha said there are two ways. One is called Gantadura, other is called Vipassanadura. Gantadura means one who learns literature, scriptures, Sutta Pitaka, Vinaya Pitaka, they study. And the other is practicing meditation. They are called Vipassanadura. So, one of them said, Venerable Sir, I am old. In my age, I cannot study scriptures. I cannot remember things. Therefore, please give me some instruction, advice for meditation. So Buddha gave him advice, gave some instructions as how to meditate. And he took Buddha's leave, took his alms bowl and robes, went into a forest to start meditation. And the other monk said, Venerable Sir, I like to study the scriptures. Buddha said, okay, you can study that. So this monk studied the scriptures, and he happened to be very good speaker. His voice was very clear, loud, sweet. He can explain things very clearly. So very quickly he gathered 500 students. Another place 500 students. Like that he had 18,000 students in various places. And he was very glad that he had so many students. So after after 5 years, even the one who went to the forest did not go to forest straight away. He stayed in the monastery with his teacher for 5 years. That is a requirement. When a person becomes a monk, he must stay with the teacher for 5 years. That's called period of dependency. In Pali it is called Nissa period. Nissa period. So he must stay with the teacher for 5 years. This monk also stayed for 5 years. After that, they took leave of their teachers, went to see the Buddha and paid respect to him, and took his permission. And one went to the forest, other stayed in the city teaching. So he collected 18,000 students. So one day, the one who went to the forest also had many students who came to meditate. They all, after some years, said to this elderly monk, Venerable Sir, we like to see the Buddha. And he said, okay, that's good. Go and see the Buddha and make sure that you pay respect to the Buddha on my behalf. First you pay respect for yourself, then you pay respect to the Buddha, second time on my behalf. And they went and did that and stayed in the city monastery. And the others who were already in the city also wanted to see the Buddha, and they all were there. So the forest-dwelling monk went to city-dwelling monk who studied scriptures from that very famous teacher. And then the famous teacher's students who knew scriptures asked the other monk who came from forest practicing meditation, he asked him how many texts you have read, how many discourses you have read, how many books you have read. The forest dwelling monk said, I have not read any. I don't know many scriptures. And the next person, monk come. So this city dwelling monk who studies scriptures asked him the same question. He got the same answer. So one by one, several of them came to him or to another city dwelling monks who studied the scriptures, and each of them asked this new monk how much you have studied and so forth. Answer was always similar, same. Then he thought, well, your teacher, soon after he finished his dependency period, took his alms bowl and robes and left the city to go to the forest. He does not know anything. Whenever he comes here, I will ask him some questions from the scriptures. So sure enough, one day he came. So when he came, Buddha knew that these young monks who have studied scriptures would intimidate the forest dwelling monks who practice meditation by asking questions from scriptures. And Buddha thought that if this person did that, it was embarrassing to forest dwelling monk, and also it is not meritorious, demeritorious. He commit bad karma by asking him questions from the scriptures. If he committed bad karmas, he would be reborn in woeful, painful state of existence. So out of compassion for this monk, and to show the benefit of practicing meditation, Buddha pretended to be visiting monasteries, just walked around there. And then he found a seat already arranged for the Buddha. Normally when monks get together, always they arrange a seat for the Buddha first. They expect Buddha to visit. So when the seat was arranged, while walking through the temples, monasteries, kutis, Buddha saw his seat. He sat down. And then he asked the city-dwelling monk who studied scriptures questions on meditation. Questions about the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana, and first immaterial attainment, second, third, fourth immaterial. So they answered all these questions correctly because you can see them all in scriptures. Then Buddha asked them a question about the attainment of Sotapanna, stream entry. He could not answer. Once returner, he could not answer. Asked questions about never returner, he could not answer. Asked some questions about attaining arahantship, he could not answer. Then Buddha turned around and asked a forest dwelling monk who had attained arahanthood. He was an arahant, fully enlightened monk. Buddha asked him questions with regard to attainment to the first level of enlightenment, Sotapanna. He answered them very correctly, accurately. He asked, then Buddha said, sadhu, 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 in appreciation. Buddha, what do you call, clapped his hands, applauded. Then he asked a question about the second level of enlightenment, Sakadagami. That monk answered them correctly. Again Buddha applauded, then say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Then asked attainment of the question about attainment of the third level. He answered them correctly. Buddha said sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Appreciated. He asked a question about attainment of the arahantship. He answered correctly. He said sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And then the other monks who were scholars, studied scriptures, said, what is this? When our teacher, who is so learned, he has 500 students in each class, altogether he had 18,000 students all over. But when they answer questions, Buddha did not applaud, not appreciate it, not say sadhu. But this forest-dwelling monk, who does not know anything about the scriptures, when he answered question, Buddha applauded. And but when the Buddha said sadhu, 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 all deities, earthbound deities, up to heavens, all the deities, all human beings, all began to say sadhu, 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 sadhu. But when this educated monk, one who was a scholar, answered, nobody said sadhu. So they made a huge uproar. Then Buddha said, uttered these stanzas. First one is, even though reciting about abundant scriptures, the heedless fellow who does not do what he recites, like a cowboy counting others' cattle, does not partake of the ascetic life. Ascetics are supposed to practice what they preach. They should be heedful, not heedless. And they are the ones who enjoy ascetic life. As we see, like, but they are not enjoying it, and they are like cowboys counting others' cattle. They know the scriptures by heart. They can teach, they can write, they can discuss, they can debate, win debates in arguments, and all these they can do. But they are all limited to words, sentences, ideas, debates, but they have not done anything for themselves. But the second one, he knows very little, few scriptures, but living according to what they know. And they practice Dhamma. And then by practicing Dhamma, living according to Dhamma, what they do, they abandon greed, hatred and delusion. Greed, hatred and delusion are the three main roots of defilements. All defilements, jealousy, fear, tension, anxiety, rivalry, all arise from these these roots of defilements: greed, hate, and delusion. So Buddha was so compassionate that he wanted monastics, ascetics to liberate themselves from greed, hatred, and delusion so that they will not suffer. Buddha wanted us to be free from suffering. And Buddha said, you simply waste your time. You are not living according to Dhamma. This life is very short and you have to practice Dhamma in order to liberate yourself this long samsaric suffering. Suffering is such a powerful thing that it weigh you down, make you very painful in this life, next life, after that, and so forth. As long as one exists in samsara, one has suffering. Buddha wanted us to be free from suffering. And therefore, even though we learn a little, sometimes people think that we have to study entire Tipitaka, Sutta, Vinaya, Abhidhamma, all this to attain enlightenment. Not so. Not so. But we learn, we study, if necessary, little bit, and then practice more in order to liberate. So we talk more about heedlessness in the next chapter. Next chapter is on heedfulness and heedlessness, appamada, the second chapter of the Dhammapada. This is the first chapter. This is the end of the first chapter. So, you have studied 20 stanzas and at least 10 stories so far. I advise you to read this and reread from YouTube and try to commit to memory and try to use them in your life, put into practice. Now let us recite this once again. I recite once and then I want you to look at the stanzas on your screen and chant it or recite it by yourself. You just listen to this whole stanza that I recite and then you try to recite by yourself. Bahumpiche sahitang bhasamano netakkaro hoti naropamatto gopo vagavo ganayang paresang na bhagava samanyasa hoti. Okay, who recite first? Okay, Malika?
Bahung piche sahitang basamawano natakaro hoti naropamato gopo vagavo ganayang parisang na bhagava somanasa hoti. Sadhu.
Na bhagava samanyasa hoti. Who else? Anaya? Or Anoma?
Bahumpiche sahitam vasamano natakkaro hoti naro pamatto gopo vavagavo ganayam paresang nabhagava samannassa hoti.
Can you hear? Okay. Who else? Parnaya?
Bahumsite sitam basamano natakaro hoti naro pamanto gopo vikavo ganayam paresam na bhagava samanan sahoti.
Very good, very good. Tesha?
Bahumpi sahitam vasamano natakaro hoti naro pamato gopo va gova kanayam paresam na bhagava samana hoti.
Very good. Okay, Anoma recited. Bertram Nanakar. Bertram? No. Name, you recited?
Not that Bante. Let
Okay,
me recite.
you recited.
Okay. Bahumpisa sahitam pama samano natakaro hoti naro pamato gopova gova ganayam paresam na bahava sammanas hoti.
Okay. Who is next? Shreyan and no. Okay, Ryan.
Oh. Uh, Mama das.
Oh,
Bahum piche sahitam ba samano no natakaro hoti naro pamato gopava gavo ganayam paresam na bhagava samanas hoti.
very good, very good. Anudhi.
Bahumpiche sahitam pamasano natakaro hoti naro pamato gopo vagavo ganayam paresam nabhagava samanasa hoti.
Very good. Etmi. Etmi Uyanwati. Hello? Okay. Himandi.
Bahumpi sahitam bahasamono natakaro hoti naro pamato gopo vagavo ganam parisam na bhagava samanhasa hoti.
Very good, very good. How about siphon? You? Yeah, kata karne dila maya. Then Chaminda. You? No. Chaminda?
Bahumpiche sahitam basamano natakaro hoti naro pamato gopo va govo ganayam parisaram nabhagava samanassa hoti.
Okay. Now, Ethmi did not recite. Himandi recited. Lienege. Savine Lienege. Okay. Yeah.
Bahum pise sahitam basamano natakaro hoti naro kamato gopo bhagavo ganayam parisam na bhagava samansa hoti.
Very good. Samanyasa hoti. Okay. Himandi recited? No. Eh? Did you recite? Okay. Now, actually, it's very good. Almost all of you except one or two recited. So, I encourage you to read this again and again and remember the story, remember the meaning of stanzas. We put them on YouTube and they are there. Whenever you want, you open YouTube and read them. Next Sunday, we will start the second chapter, that chapter on heedfulness. Okay? Just the opposite of heedlessness. Okay? In this stanza you can see appam piche saitam bhasam samasa. Okay. The meaning of this you can see better when we study the next chapter, chapter 2. Now, children, it is time for us to do some meditation. I bring up our meditation. Where is the meditation instructions? Recital, okay. No. Okay. Okay. Now we recite this discourse on loving friendliness. I recite for all of you because if you all recite, then it will be little sort of confusing. You listen and then we practice. May all beings be happy and secure. May all beings have happy minds. Whatever living beings there may be, without exception, weak or strong, long, large, medium, short, subtle or gross, visible or invisible, living near or far, born or coming to birth, may all beings have happy minds. Let no one deceive another, nor despise anyone anywhere, neither from anger nor ill will should anyone wish harm to another. As a mother would risk her own life to protect her only child, even so towards all living beings one should cultivate a boundless heart. One should cultivate for all the world a heart of boundless loving friendliness, above, below and all around, unobstructed, without hatred or resentment, whether standing, walking, sitting, lying down or whenever awake, one should develop this mindfulness. This is called divinely dwelling here, not falling into erroneous views, but virtuous and endowed with vision, removing desire for sensual pleasures. One comes never again to birth in the womb. Okay, we go into silence and we focus our mind on our breath. Notice inhaling as inhaling, exhaling as exhaling, and then you feel the breath. Notice that feeling and stay. Whenever mind wanders, bring it back to your breath. When you feel sleepy, open your eyes or visualize very bright light. Then sleepiness fades away. If you experience restlessness and worry, bring your mind back to the present moment, focusing mind on the breath. And if you have any doubt, think of the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. They are perfect and they have attained full liberation by following the breath. Have trust in them and then have trust in you and continue your practice. I don't want to talk too much because you need some time to practice. There are only few minutes until I ring the bell. You practice meditation. This one. Chat one, yeah. By means of this meritorious deed, may I never join with the foolish, may I join always with the wise, until the time I attain Bhavana. May the suffering be free from suffering, may the fear-struck be free from fear, may the grieving be free from grief, so too may all beings be. From the highest realm of existence to the lowest, may all beings arisen in these realms, with form and without form, with perception and without perception, be released from all suffering and attain to perfect peace. Okay, friends, this is the end of the session. On the 6th of this month, we have Vesak celebration. You all are welcome. This also will be broadcast on our YouTube. That is one whole day practice, and you can participate in that. And then I don't think I have time to answer questions. I'm also tired now. So you continue your practice. Okay?
Thank you, Bante. Teruvan Saranai.
Raju.
Peruvan Saranai Swamin Mahansa. May you have long life and good health.
Okay.
Concern.
Everyone, Saranai.
Long life.